you, I just wanted to talk about this. I finally own the Zelda Edition 3DS XL. This has been my most wanted special edition system for years now. I have always adored how this looked. It's one of my favorite looking special edition systems, and it's weird to say that because it's so simplistic. It's literally just a gold 3DS with a giant Triforce on it, and then the bottom of it is black with the Triforce upside down, which is supposed to represent low rule and high rule in A Link Between Worlds, because low rule is has an upside down black Triforce as its icon or crest, opposed to high rule is just normal Triforce, and the inside is just pure gold. And I always thought it looked really cool. And it's not because I need everything gold or anything, but I just love if Nintendo just kind of goes all in with a design, you know? Like, if you want to make a Zelda edition handheld or console, whatever, you go all in. Don't do anything basic, you know? If you want to do a gold system, go crazy. And Zelda's had quite a few special edition systems, specifically 3DSs, but one that this definitely reminds me of is a Zelda Edition DS Lite, which I believe released in coordination with Phantom Hourglass, and that one looks quite good too. That's a lot more subdued. That's a bit more of like a, you know, kind of like, oh, just like, oh, I just happened to notice a Triforce on that, and I definitely still like that. I like how in your face this one is. Like, this would blind somebody. It's so gold and so big and bold. I love it. But actually, the first 3DS special edition Zelda thing was for the original 3DS. I actually have this in box. And you know what? I still haven't opened it, mainly because I don't know how to open it without destroying the packaging. So let me let you in on this. So you open it up just like this. Yeah, so... Oh, never mind. I did find a way. Never mind, apparently I did find a way. Pretty much I had to, like, cut this portion off. Like, and it was like, there was no other way to do it. I don't know how. Like, as in, like, I had to pretty much, like, peel this off for the life of me. And then, this portion, was, like, you know, bolted to, this cardboard pretty much. So I just had to, like, cut through it. And, then get this, this 3DS. Which, yeah, so I guess I do have the Zelda Edition 3DS available for business, so I need a box cutter to open up here. So yeah, I guess I have that to look forward to opening up and checking out. But yeah, this was released in late 2011, the launch year of the 3DS, but this was for the holidays. And yeah, this included Ocarina of Time 3D. My copy did come with that. I just my sealed copy of Ocarina of Time 3D that came with this is over there somewhere. But this was the holiday bundle, and yeah, it was pretty much just a Cosmo Black 3DS, but with some Zelda insignia on it. It looks fine. I think my main problem with it was that it was just so similar to a regular black 3DS. Like, it's literally just a regular black 3DS. Like, the buttons have gold lettering instead. And like, so does the 3D slider, but it's so similar to just a regular black 3DS that I just didn't care about this as much, you know. The outside has a very, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's nice and, you know, it looks very classy and just, you know, it's something that's not gonna pop out, but, you know, when you notice it, it's like, oh man, that's a cool special edition. But yeah, this was always cool, but not my favorite. And then later, when the new 3DS XL launched here in North America, it launched alongside Majora's Mask 3D, and alongside the launch of the new 3DS XL came a new 3DS XL Special Edition Majora's Mask themed system. And that one's also okay. I just feel like it's a little confused, mainly because Majora's Mask is a very specific Zelda game, and I think, like, when you think Majora's Mask, I feel like the color purple is more associated with that game rather than gold, and I feel like they just felt the need to do a gold system because, oh, it's Zelda Gold, but I'm just like, ah, man, I just feel like that system would have looked a lot better if it was, like, purple. And then they did, like, a 2DS, and it was, like, green, and it came with Ocarina of Time 3D, but, like, it didn't really have much to do with Zelda outside of, like, you know, it was kind of colored like Link was, you know, green with some yellow in there, you know, stuff like that. And then a new 2DS XL with a Hyrulean shield design released, which that was kind of neat, but it was, I don't know, like, that design looked a little tacky to me, you know. It kind of looked like it was something that, you know, like, it looked like one of those officially licensed, but technically still third-party case designs you would get, where it's just like, oh, I got a Hyrulean Shield case for my 3DS, and, you know, it's still licensed by Nintendo, but it's made by PDP. That's what it reminds me of. So overall, Zelda's had pretty much a 3DS design, a special edition for every 3DS design, but this has always been my favorite, and I am so excited to open it up. This launched right alongside A Link Between Worlds. It was like November 2013. That was one of the biggest days in gaming. It might still be the biggest day in gaming. I mean, you had Mario 3D World, A Link Between Worlds, the Xbox One launch alongside all of its launch games, this system design, and Mario Party Island Tour. Big ass day. I'm surprised a lot of people had time to play A Link Between Worlds. But yes, I'm excited. It feels unfortunate to, you know, butcher a 10-year-old system that's remained sealed all this time with a box cutter, but what do I care? Oh man, here I go. Give me the goods. Give me the goods. Oh well, A Link Between Worlds full download code is included. That's surprising. And without further ado, come on, come on, you son of a bitch. Oh, it's so cool. Alright, here we go. Oh, look at this. Gold as piss. I barely even want to use this thing. It's so pretty. Look at this thing. How could you dare think any of the other Zelda special editions look better than this? This is absolutely gorgeous. The black buttons, gold, just gold color everywhere, and then the bottom of being black. Just the big-ass Triforce. I absolutely love this, and it's fantastic this came out alongside A Link Between Worlds. This is an absolutely phenomenal game. One of my favorite Zelda games, and one of my favorite 3DS games, definitely. It's definitely up there in terms of 2D Zelda games, just one of the greats. I feel like some people, you know, like if they prefer others, I definitely understand that, but to some extent I'm kind of like, man, like I feel like a lot of it definitely has to do with nostalgia, because this one is so damn good that if you think, like, you know, like, oh man, it's that much worse than like A Link to the Past. You know, obviously A Link to the Past is, you know, one of the greatest games of all time. You know, nothing will overtop it for many people. But I feel like this gets pretty damn close. And if anybody acts like, oh man, this is just not nearly as good, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's at least nearly as good. Definitely the best Special Edition 3DS. I mean, if you look at like other 3DS Special Editions in comparison, like, come on, what are you, fucking dumb? Also, I've said this before, I don't understand why like most of these 3DSs only work when you have them closed. Like they only, like the design only works well when you have them closed. The Yoshi design is cool, but yeah, it's literally like, oh, you know, like, oh, the trail of eggs follows behind Yoshi right here. But when you flip it open and you're playing it like this, and then you look on the back, like, it doesn't work at all. Whereas the Zelda 3DS works in literally like every context, you know, closed like this and open like this specifically. It's supposed to be open like this because that's, you know, that's how the design is supposed to look. And I think that's really important. I think it's brilliant. It's a great design because, like I said, it works in every way you're going to hold this 3DS. The 3DS XL is probably like, I mean, like, it's definitely not the definitive 3DS at this point. Obviously, the new 3DS XL is definitely the definitive model, or the new 3DS. I love the new 3DS design, but overall, I think the original 3DS XL was just such a cool upgrade. Just the fact that it was like, it just felt like, oh man, this is how the 3DS should be, because the XL family, as in the DSi XL, really felt like it was mainly designed just for old people, and the 3DS XL was more so like, no, this is actually beneficial to other people, like specifically people who enjoy video games. You might enjoy an XL edition of the 3DS, and they were definitely right, because it was a great upgrade at the time. And I loved my 3DS XL. I had this one, the red one, and I definitely got a lot of time out of this one. But I eventually upgraded to the new 3DS and then the new 3DS XL. But I still kind of look back at this one pretty fondly. I still think it's a great design, even though it feels a little bit cheaper than the original 3DS. just because, you know, some of the plastic they use just feels a little cheaper, and, you know, some stuff feels, I don't know, just not as premium, I guess, but it definitely feels like, you know, it's definitely more comfortable and, you know, just a better overall design. But, you know, while it's not the go-to model I'd use today, I have a lot of love for this design, and one of the reasons is we got some pretty killer special editions like the Zelda edition. That's pretty good. I'd let my daughter date this design.